Hello everyone and welcome to Pinky Tech. I'm Joe, you're you, and today I'm going to teach you how to upgrade your hard drive without losing any data. So stick around. So today I'm going to show you how to upgrade the hard drive in your computer without losing any data. And this could be for either greater capacity or better performance or both. Today I'm going to be replacing my 500 gig SSD with this guy. It's a 1 terabyte NVMe silicone powered drive. So I'm actually going to get better performance as well as greater capacity on here. Now it doesn't matter if you're just upgrading from a mechanical drive to an SSD or an SSD to an NVMe or whatever the combination is here. This procedure will work on any of the upgrades. Alright, so before I get started with the upgrade, there are a couple of caveats we need to cover. So the first one is, and this may seem obvious, is you have to be able to connect both drives to your computer at the same time. You're cloning your hard drive, so basically the software that you're using has to be able to read from one disk and then write to another disk. It can't clone it by magic or over the air or anything like that, so you have to be able to connect both drives to your computer at the same time. If your computer only has one drive slot, then you'll have to use an external adapter. Alright, and for caveat number 2, you have to be moving to a higher capacity drive than what you currently have. So what I mean by that is if you have a 500 gig drive, you need to be going to something that is over 500 gigabytes. In my case, it's going to be a 1 terabyte drive. And the reason for this is you can't take 500 gigs of data and fit it onto a 250 gig disk. It just doesn't work like that. You have to be going to a higher capacity drive. Even trying to go from 1 terabyte drive to a 1 terabyte drive sometimes won't work. And that's because a terabyte is rarely a terabyte when manufacturers list it on the drives. The way drives are formatted causes, a terabyte of space to be 980 gigs or 960 gigs or a variety of other sizes depending on different factors there. So make sure you're going to a higher capacity disk and you should be just fine. All right, and with that out of the way, let's get the drive in and we can get started. Alright, now that we got the drive installed, the next thing to do is download and install your cloning software. Now your drive will come with instructions on what software to download and what the instructions are to actually install it. So for mine, it actually uses a program called NTI Echo. So I'm going to go ahead and launch that now that I have it installed. And as you can see, it's detecting both of my drives. So it does have the source drive, which is my Samsung, and it has the destination drive, which is my new M.2 drive. Now keep in mind, this is the thing that you have to get correct when you're cloning a drive. Your source drive is your original drive. It's the drive that holds all your data since it's the source of all your data that you want to copy. Then you've got your destination drive or your new drive. That's what you want to use to copy your data over to. So you want to make sure that you have those both correct. In our instance, I'm all set. It's showing the only 2 drives that I have, and as you can see over here, I've only got 465 gigs. I've only got 65 free. So we really need to take care of that. So I'm going to go ahead and go through this wizard. So I got my drives. Like I said, they are correct. We're going to leave the options here for just dynamic resizing. Let it do what it needs to do. That means it's going to make the 400 gig drive a terabyte drive once it gets to the new one. So I'm just going to click start. And it gives you the notice. You have chosen to clone the following source disk, my Samsung 860 EVO, to the following target disk, which is the only other disk that I have. At this point, the program will restart the computer, start the cloning process. Important notice, all data on the target disk will be erased prior to cloning. So essentially if you have any information already on that disk that you just put in, then it is going to erase it. So if you're trying to combine disks or something like that, it's not going to do it. But if it is a new drive like it is in our instance, it's going to clone it over there. So we're going to go ahead, let it do its thing, and let it clone over, and we'll get back once it's complete. Alright, the cloning is complete, so we're going to go ahead and shut down the computer, and then I will take out the old disk drive, and we should be able to boot back up and boot into Windows and finish up. Alright everyone, I've got the old SATA drive out and the computer's booted back up. It is showing the new terabyte drive is active. Here's the other SSD. So I'm going to hold on to this. I like to hold on to it for about a week. And then once I feel comfortable that the old drive's not giving me any issues or anything like that, I'll go ahead and erase it and use it in another build, or use it as a scratch disk somewhere, or for troubleshooting later, or whatever. Nothing wrong with the disk itself. It just didn't have enough capacity for me. So we got that out of there. The only thing that you may have to do in addition to what was already done is go into your BIOS and make sure that your NVMe drive or your new drive is set as the correct device. Most BIOS or UEFI will default to using the Windows Boot Manager instead of an actual SATA port or NVMe port, etc. Alright, so if you learned something, make sure you hit that like button. If you didn't learn something, hit the dislike button. But I mean, come on, man, you already waited to the end. You should just move on, let it go. No, don't hit the dislike button. And to make sure that you catch all my future content, make sure that you destroy that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so that YouTube will let you know that I have made another video for your enjoyment. Until next time, guys, appreciate you watching. We'll see you in the next video.